Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us. It's Friday, 12:30 in Sydney, which means it's time for P2P Live. You can catch us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube for an employment and jobs market update for Australia. Hi there, my name's Mark Smith. I'm Group Managing Director of People to People in Australia and Frog Recruitment in New Zealand. So it was Are You OK Day yesterday, a very important day, and you can see that I actually bought some merch. And we've got the theme this year is Are They Really OK? And ask them today. If you didn't join the webinar that the Are You OK charity actually put on yesterday, I'm sure you can still get access to it. I found it on Eventbrite. I'd encourage everybody else to do it. Today is also International Suicide Prevention Day, so it's a good time, and I really wanted to make mention of it today. We actually interviewed an Are You OK ambassador. I think it was last year, and I can see that Jacob, who our man behind the scenes, has already popped up in the comments there to watch the Are You OK video that we recorded last year, is in the comments there. So we can see your comments on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube at any time. So please do that. Pop any questions that you have there, and we'll get to them as soon as we can. So what are we going to do today? We'll go through our regular numbers section. It was the stock market wobbled this week, and some pundits were saying that it was in relation to the payroll data that was released this week from the ABS. So I thought I'd share that with you this week and put it into an employment context. And then we'll be crossing to Queensland, where lockdowns don't exist. To Leanne Lazarus, who's got an opportunity in human resources to talk to us about. Then back to New South Wales, where Chris Williams has got a multitude of analyst positions in Sydney that he's looking to fill right now, and he'll share that with us as well. Finally, we'll close out with the Twitter poll and the results from last week, very interesting, and then this week's poll as well. So let's jump into it, and we'll get started. Pradeep, hello. Good to see you. I'm not sure if you've been on here before, but great to see that you are commenting, and it does work. It's true. So let's jump into our numbers section. Okay, all right. So numbers this week. So I've got some interesting ones. Firstly, let's just get into the basic data that came out this week, which is the one-touch payroll data. This is where this comes from. It's quite I think I've explained in previous broadcasts that it's a relatively new thing, but it's a very demonstrative of what's going on in the market right now for us in recruitment and in employment. So you can see there that in the fortnight, so it's measured fortnightly, and these are up until the 15th of August. Yeah, so it was just a couple of weeks ago that from the 2 weeks from the end of July to the middle of August, the total number of people was down that were receiving income was down 0.7% across Australia. The total amount of wages was down 1%. Why the difference? Just simply the number of hours, sort of makes sense. In the month from the end of from the middle of July to the middle of August, you can see that payroll jobs are down 2.4% and total wages down 3.2%. So a big decline. But the interesting thing is when you compare these lockdowns to last year, so when you're comparing the payroll data to this year to last year, that we are up 1.6% in terms of the number of people working, and the amount of wages being paid is up 4.9%. So it's a negative picture, but not as bad as you'd probably think when compared to last year. Let's have a look at the states. So if you wanted to pop that one up for me. So, sorry, excuse me, not the states. This is it. This is the last one, which is the graphical format of what we've just been looked at over time. So this is from the middle of August last year to now. You can see the Christmas decline. You can see the steady incline as we were rising out of the pandemic. The almost boom numbers as we got into the June, July, with the number of payroll jobs, the number of people working, that magic unemployment number. Then the lockdowns coming in New South Wales, now Victoria and elsewhere, and that decline. I can just see the little tick at the end, that little tick up. Are we bottoming out? I think we are. That's my personal view. So, okay, all right, let's go to a state-by-state analysis and quickly have a look at that. And there are no surprises in this. I won't go through all the numbers. I'll just pick the last column, which is in the fortnight from the end of July to the middle of August. New South Wales down the most, Queensland and Victoria all down. Tasmania, who's going up? South Australia, WA is flatlining. It is a direct correlation to the lockdowns. There's no real surprise there at all. The only other thing I would say is the last column, which is against last year. New South Wales is less in terms of the number of people being paid by 5% this time last year. We're in a better position when it comes to the number of people in work, being kept in work through JobKeeper, than this time last year. Every other state was up on the year before. Last piece of information I want to share with you is some numbers out of the US has obviously opened up and they're on their way out of the pandemic, although Biden, I think, was making some comments about vaccination today. This is what they call there's a thing called the beige book, okay, which I'll explain what that is in a minute. This is the number of times that in the beige book the shortage of labour appeared in the beige book. So what's the beige book? The beige book is a report that's published 8 times a year. I'm just going to read this to you. Each Federal Reserve Bank gathers anecdotal information on current economic conditions in its district through reports from bank and branch directors and interviews with key business contacts and economists. So the beige book summarises this information by district and sector, and an overall summary of the 12 districts is produced. And this graph shows you the number of times it mentions shortage or shortages. It is stratospheric, you could say. So if America's future or America's present is our future, there is going to be a big shortage of available talent if the borders aren't opened up. And I wanted to share that so people should be preparing that it's not, well, I'll just wait and I'll hire later. If you're going to hire, you should hire now. Okay, so that's it for the numbers section. Couple of comments. Pradeep, yes. Oh, so it's your first time. Well, thanks for joining us here. And VJ says, loving the hat, mate. You know, what's it? Notice you from a mile away. Yes, and other people have actually said to me, VJ, that it drains the colour out of my face. I don't know who's true there or what's right there. Okay, let's what we're going to do. We're going to actually cross to Queensland in a second. Before I do that, we've got a video of the New Zealand top dog with the job winner last year. Before I show that to you, because this year we're actually running the Oz top dog with a job. We're top office dog in Australia as well, and a couple of others there. But before I show you, we've got a couple of entries already from around the country. So I'm putting Jacob on the spot here because I was going to talk about this at the beginning. But here are a couple of the guys that are actually entries for this year's top office dog. This is Pumbaa. Pumbaa's from New South Wales. Sort of guy, it sort of looks like somebody that you wouldn't want to meet in the street. Yeah, what are you saying? But Pumbaa's entered top office dog. Then we've got Dimitri from the Gold Coast. Now, Dimitri, I think Dimitri's a puppy, but he's very cute. And the last one is Moo from South Australia, up on the post there. He's actually from Adelaide, Moo, being very Adelaide right there. Good on you. So let's before we go to Queensland and while we get that set up, here's a quick video of last year's top dog with a job winner in New Zealand. Oh, not working. No, it doesn't appear to be working. All right, let's see if we can go to Queensland then, and maybe we can do that video later. Leanne.
Hey, Mark, how are you?
I'm very well, although apparently I can be seen from across the Tasman. VJ in Auckland there says that with this yellow hat on, but I think it's the right thing to be wearing when it's Are You OK Day. Definitely.
That it is.
So all the way from Queensland, not in lockdown. Are you enjoying the restaurants and the pubs?
I think a lot of people are, although I must admit I haven't actually been out, which is quite sad. I think you just get in, it just becomes ingrained in not going out that you end up just being at home more when doing home projects. It's been the biggest thing in our household.
I'm very, very jealous of the opportunity that you've got up there. Queensland's obviously doing very well. And how's the market overall? Before we talk about that opportunity you've got specifically.
Definitely picking up. Our temp side's been really busy for the last couple of weeks, and that's still really busy. But we've started to see a few more permanent roles coming through. I'm finding in the HR vertical specifically, we're starting to see more permanent roles coming through in HR, which is great to see.
Okay, and the temp market, what type of roles are we talking about there?
In terms of the team that I work in, we've got a lot of administration, we've got a lot of reception, we've got a lot of customer service. Rostering coordinators are high in demand and difficult to find, but we've got quite a few roles in that space. So if anyone is a rostering coordinator in Brisbane looking for work, give us a call.
Yeah, great, fantastic. All right, well, let's talk about this human resources, people and culture manager position you've got.
So it is a fast food organization that's growing, and it's an entrepreneurial environment where the director has the master franchise license for Queensland and Northern Territory, and they're looking for a people and performance manager role. It's a role that is to support the full employee life cycle and journey within the business, both at head office and within the organization owned stores, but then also providing support and consultation to the franchised owned stores as well. It is a great role because it's not a purely operations or transactional based HR role. It has got a true blend of a split in terms of 60 to 70% is going to be around the strategic side, 30-40% is going to be around that operational side. So you get to be involved in developing initiatives, programs, and projects that is focused around culture, is focused around developing employees, is focused around driving performance through their employees, which is an exciting opportunity. It's permanent. It's based in Brisbane's southern suburbs, but there will be a bit of travel to the stores. So you get out and about to meet people as opposed to being just in the office.
Is that regional Queensland, Leanne, or is that only Brisbane?
Majority of it is going to be Brisbane, Sunshine Coast, Gold Coast. However, if there is a need to go up to some of the stores that are further up, based obviously COVID dependent, go up to the stores if need be as well.
Okay, and the salary and benefits?
So salary they're looking at is a salary between 100 to 120K plus super. In terms of performance bonus, it's nothing that is concrete at the moment, but based on the fact that the business is growing and being an entrepreneurial environment, there is always opportunity for that later on as well.
Okay, great. And I can see that Jacob has put the opportunity in the comments. So if you're interested in learning more about that, then click on those links for sure. But if somebody wanted to pick up the phone and have a chat to you about it more specifically, how would they get in touch?
Absolutely. Give us a call on the office number, which is 0731180125, or my email address, which Jacob's put at the bottom of the screen.
Okay, fantastic. All right. Well, thanks for joining us again, Leanne, all the way from Queensland, unlocked and open and free Queensland.
And great weather.
And great weather. That's like perfect one day, isn't it? All right. Thanks, Leanne, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Right. Let's now move on to we'll come down south to Chris Williams, who is in our temporary and contracting team here in Sydney. G'day, Chris. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, Mark. How are you?
I'm good. I'm completely, and I know, and I'm sort of putting you on the spot here. I know I am completely addicted to Australian Survivor, and I know you do watch it as well. Who's going to win?
Hayley.
Yeah, I think Hayley's going to win. Well, she's my favourite as well. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. How is the temporary and contract accounting market in Sydney right now?
It's really good, to be honest with you, Mark. It's a little different from what we have seen over the last few months, especially beginning of this year. We did see an increase in the more transactional market again, AP, AR, in particular, payroll, as always, whenever I think you and I speak. However, the last few weeks and months since this most recent lockdown in New South Wales, we've seen a big increase in project management and senior analyst opportunities as well. I think the big reason for that is these senior analyst roles don't necessarily get involved too much with day-to-day contact with everyone else in the business, and it's a great opportunity to do this type of work when you are stuck at home and willing to do 8-10 hours just at the desk. But I do have one in particular that I would love to share. It's a role to start as soon as possible. And when I say as soon as possible, if you connect with me today, you could start on Monday.
Right.
The role itself is for around 2 to 3 months. The project is expected to be completed prior to 2022. The role itself is going to be a hybrid of IT and finance. So they're looking for someone who has the accounting background in terms of a CA or CPA, fully qualified, but also someone who's been involved in ERP implementations or reviews and really focused heavily from the IT side as well and partnering with them. So this role in particular is not an implementation, as the company has been using the software for a few years, but more so a refresher to make sure that they're using it, I guess, to the best of their capability. And over the years, I'm sure there's processes that the ERP they're using has updated that they haven't necessarily reinforced. So yeah, quite an interesting role there. That's around $75 an hour.
Do they need to have experience in the specific ERP that we're talking about here?
No, so the company itself, they use JDE.
Right.
However, they're willing to look at anyone who's been involved in a larger ERP. So unfortunately, not necessarily at MYB or Xero, but something along the lines of, an Oracle, a SAP, or any of the Microsoft packages would be suitable.
Right. Okay, cool. And whereabouts is that one based? So it's home, anywhere? Or is it?
Yeah.
So what about somebody interstate? Would they consider that?
So the viewpoint would be, and I think it's pretty hopeful, that there would be a return to the office at some point in time before the end of the year. So ideally, it would be someone who's New South Wales based. At the moment, of course, it's completely work from home, but this company in particular is very eager to, have a few days in the office whenever it's safe to do so. So I would say, New South Wales based would be best. And when that day does finally come, hopefully in October, they are based on the North Shore.
Right. Okay, cool. And I can see that that Jacob has popped the link to the actual specific role there in the comments. So if somebody's interested, they can jump on that. There was more than one job, though, that you wanted to talk to us about?
Yeah, so we've seen, like I said, a big increase in project management. I do have another analyst role that's also to start as soon as possible for 3 months. That particular role is someone who's got experience with fixed assets, large data, and essential to have SAP. That particular role is paying between $60 to $70 an hour as well, and various project manager roles. So I won't go into too much details about those opportunities, but if you are a project manager of any sort, whether that be IT, operational, specifically with ERP implementations and integrations, definitely feel free to reach out to me.
Great. All right. That sounds it's great that there are so many opportunities. I know that we were chatting prior to going live that why are there so many analyst positions now? I mean, I was postulating that maybe it's because that there is more uncertainty as to what the future's looking like, and I do agree with you though that it's a good time to actually undertake these projects where people are at home and they need to be focused as well. So. Excellent,
yeah,
good.
Definitely.
And if somebody wanted to chat to you, how would they do that? What's the best way?
So just best way is to give me a call on 8270-9785. It's definitely the quickest option rather than email. But if you do want to reach out and send a CV through, it's christopher.williams@peopleTopeople.com.au.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thanks again for joining us, Chris. In lockdown, unlike Leanne.
So I'll need to get a hat next time and try and hide this mess of a hair.
Oh, the bouffant. Well, I'm a little bit jealous there, mate. I'm not even going to start having those conversations. All right. Okay. Thanks, Chris. Thanks for joining us again.
Thanks,
we'll see you again soon. Rightio. So we're coming towards the end. I'm just going to quickly ask Jacob, is that video good to go? Maybe we can try it at the end. Okay. Yeah, it is good, but we'll do it at the end, hey? So let's so we'll wrap up with that. But let's have a look at last week's Twitter poll results. So last week we asked the question, because we're still recruiting a multitude of warehousing positions at the moment. So if you're interested in that, you should call 1300-121-727 and we'll put you through. But not a lot of people actually picking up the phone. That's what we were experiencing. So we thought I'd ask the question, do you answer your phone when someone calls? Well, ask the question of the Twitterverse at least. And you can see there that only 30%, so less than a third of us, pick up the phone when somebody rings you. But the majority of us will, 50%, will, if it's family, Otherwise, and it's amazing, 1 in 5 Aussies would prefer actually to communicate via messages, which I think is something very important if you're trying, for people like us in recruitment, the platform that you use to get in touch with people is changing for sure. Right, so what about this week then? So I thought this week we would ask this question, which was, do you know someone who has left the workforce permanently during the pandemic? Why am I asking that question? Because we have had situations where people have just said, right, I'm tapping out, that's it, I'm no longer working, I'm retiring, I'm not engaging in the workforce right now. And it's having an effect on the participation rate, which I'll share some numbers on next week. But I just wanted to ask the Twitterverse, do you know somebody who has left the workforce permanently during this pandemic? Because it will have impacts going forward. And you saw those numbers from the States. Staff shortages will definitely be around. Okay, all right, that's it, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us again for P2P Live on Friday on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. We'll be back again 12:30 next week, and we'll leave you with the winner of the New Zealand Top Dog with a Job last year. Remember, you can enter this year's Oz Top Dog and get the Oz Top Dog with the Job. That's quite difficult to say, mind you. You can enter this year to be that winner in Australia. But here's last year's New Zealand winner. I'll leave you with that. Thanks for joining.
My name is Claudia, and this is my mobility dog, Ren. Most of her job is helping me with physical tasks, so she can open doors, she can alert people if I need help by barking, she can pick things up if I drop them. Lots of commands, but one of the most sort of helpful things is just being a companion. I was in hospital a year ago, and through that time she stayed on my bed and didn't leave my side for those 5 days. Ren is definitely my best friend. You know, we've been together since 2018, and in those 3 years she's been by my side through a lot of stuff. I'm very grateful to have her. When Ren won Top Dog with a Job, it didn't seem very real at the time. And I was so proud of Ren, you know, that she named Top Dog with a Job, because to me, you know, she is the best. She's changed my life, and I'm so grateful that she's been named Top Dog with a Job of 2020. She's just a good girl. I think Ren's ready to pass on the crown to the next Top Dog with a Job. We're very excited to see who that might be, and yeah, we'll be keeping a close eye on all the very beautiful doggy entries.